All right, everybody. Welcome back for Oktoberfest of Speed put on by Victory Pace Racing League. It's our finale, Lobby 1. This week we're racing at the Nürburgring GP, and it is for all the marbles. And we have got all of our drivers in the lobby here now. Just wait for RW Green to check in, and we will ask our drivers if they're ready, and then we'll do the countdown. All right. So before we get started, maybe we'll just run through again how this series works. It's a 3-race series, and they are teams of 3. And these teams are made up of either racing community teams or racing leagues. 3 drivers plus 1 spare. And the way it works is we do a total time for the 3 drivers on each team, and that is how we hand out points at the end of each race week. So we've completed 2 races thus far, and leading the way, we've got a tie at 26 points. We got Sector 7 Racing and Auto Racing Connect, so ARC Racing, and they are tied at 26 points atop the leaderboard. And then only 2 points back at 24, we've got Greasy YouTube Racing, and 2 points again behind them, we've got Speedhouse Racing. So we've got 4 teams within 4 points of first. All right, let's give her give them a little good luck here, and we'll get going. And let's start qualifying. Okay. Yeah, so we've got 4 teams, as I mentioned, within 4 points of the league. So it's all wide open tonight. Anybody could take this home, and again, it's not just about who wins this lobby. Obviously, you want to do as well as you can, but it's a combination of the 3 drivers for each team. So consistency is extremely important. And then for 5th place, we've got a 4-way tie currently at 17 points between Aston Gang, Midwest Esports, Infinite Octane Racing Team, and Victory Pace Racing. So it's been a really good battle. We've got 14 teams in all in the series, and it's gone really well. I'm really looking forward to a great finale here tonight. So what we'll try to do during qualifying is we will try to scroll through the drivers, show you who's who, as we've got plenty of time to get through it. 10-minute qualifying lap. We'll go up to the front of the pack here. We've got Obi-Wan, who is not first man on track. Greasy is first man out. So let's follow Greasy for a lap here around the Nürburgring GP. Tonight we are driving the Group 3 BMW M6 Endurance Edition. So everybody is driving the exact same car. The tire requirement for this evening is you must use all 3 compounds of tires. So that is soft, medium, and hard. Every one must be used for at least 1 lap in order to check off GT7's tire requirement. So that can be the first lap of the race, or it can be the last lap of the race, but you must have them on, all 3 compounds on at least once. So there, as we've seen through the first 2 races this series, there is all kinds of different strategies being done. Some, dumping those hard tires early, getting them done. Some of them saving them for the end. So it's really anybody's race. Lots of different strats. So we're looking forward to another really good one again tonight. All right, so we've got Greasy starting his first hot lap. Coming into corner 1 here. Tough little dip down to the right, and then you come back up the hill for a long swooping left. Straightens out here between a hard left and then a really quick right. Lots of time can be lost or gained through this tricky little section, and then heavy on the throttle as you exit Sector 1 to go as you dip down, swoop to the left, and then another quick swoop to the right. And mid sort of straight here where you'll see a little bit of action coming down into this right-hander, a bit of a hairpin. So you will see some pass attempts most likely in this corner. Before you straighten back up, a quick left, a quick right. Lots of really good racing corners on this track. Nürburgring GP obviously is well known. See Greasy, a quick left, quick right, and then quite a bit of a straight here coming back up the hill with a little kink to the right. Again, same thing. If drivers are close enough, you're going to see them trying to set up a pass up here into the chicane, which is our last set of corners before the final right-hander. Takes just enough curb through each of those. You don't want to, got to watch out. You don't take too much. You don't want to take a penalty, or you don't want to unsettle your car. Then the final right-hand turn, you want to get on the throttle nice and early. Use as much track as you possibly can, as Greasy did there, and power across the start-finish line. So Greasy, first man across at a 155.217. And we just had Nosfox through a 157.8. Wid with a 156.1. Itkinen with a 155.3. Vuk to the top of the leaderboard with a 155.0. We've got Mr. Clean with a 156.3. Obi-Wan Kenobi with a 156.4. Nosfox with a 157.8. Mr. Jones with a 158 flat. RWB Green with a 58.8. Stackenyak with a 59.7. Tommy Turismo. Looks like he's just coming out to set his time now. Same with Jesse. And we'll go back to Vuk. And while we're running along with Vuk here, we'll give you a little bit of background what team all these gentlemen are on. So Vuk is racing for Speedhouse Racing. Speedhouse currently sitting in 4th place at 22 points. So still all to play for Vuk here this evening for that top step. We've got Greasy, who is obviously racing for Greasy YouTube Racing. That team is currently in 3rd place at 24 points, 2 back of the tie for 1st. We've got Itkinen here for ERC, Auto Racing Connect. They are currently tied for 1st place. We've got Wid at Sector 7 Racing, same, tied for 1st place. So the top 4 guys on the leaderboard, to no surprise, are the top 4 teams on the leaderboard. We've got Mr. Clean here, racing for Infinite Octane Racing Team, and they are in a tie for 5th overall. Obi-Wan Kenobi, racing for Midwest Esports. Same thing, tied for 5th. We got DS1126. DS is racing for Gear Bangers Racing League. And then we've got Tommy Turismo of the Aston Gang. They are tied for 5th as well. Mr. Jones is driving for RWB Racing. We've got Jesse Salas, who is racing for Victory Pace Racing. RWB Green, representing GT Champions League. VPR Stack and Rack Yak is representing Victory Pace Racing League, the very league that we're watching right now. And here what we're seeing already is a couple of drivers, as tire wear is on during quali, a couple of drivers out there to do a couple hot laps, burn through those tires a little bit, come on back in, put some fresh new ones on for the last couple minutes, maybe catch 1 or 2 flyers with a little less fuel in the tank and fresh rubber. So who do we got here coming up on the finish line? We've got Tommy Turismo coming through here, currently sitting on a 57.7. Doesn't look like he's going to improve that. Slightly he does. Takes a couple tenths off. And coming across the line right now, Obi-Wan does not improve. So let's get back up to the front of this pack here. What do we got? We've got Nosfox. Nosfox currently sitting in 7th place with a 57.1. Nosfox racing for Epilepsy Awareness Racing League. We'll watch him see if got 2.5 minutes left in qualifying. Doesn't quite give him enough time to come in for a pit stop, so he's going to kind of be stuck with these tires. We'll We see, watch him come around the last couple turns here. Don't believe he's improving. Got a cool Halloween livery on the go here. To improve on a 57.1, I don't think. No, has not improved. We've got, let's see, who else we've got here. We've got Ikkinen, who is on an out lap. Greasy is just starting a flyer. And Vuk is on an out lap. And Witt is on an out lap, just starting his flyer. Got anybody else who's currently okay? Let's go Obi-Wan Kenobi. So Obi-Wan is on a flyer as well, fresh tires. So he'll be looking to. He's currently a second down on his best. And that's not going to do it, unfortunately. Mr. Jones, he is down on his time. Let's see what RWB Green is up to here. As he comes across the first sector line. And it looks like Greasy's backed out of his lap, so he's not improving. So let's jump up to who's ahead on the track here. We'll stay on with Vuk. Vuk currently sitting in first place with a 55.0. Set that early days on his first lap, I believe. You get a sense here if he's improving. Come down to the hairpin. Believe the next sector line is as you come out of this corner up the hill. Should give us a sense of how he's trending. He is currently going slower. Let's see, Ikkinen's coming into that same corner. We'll see if he's improving. He is, just slightly, but he only needs 9/100ths of a second to leapfrog Greasy to take second place on the start line. So we'll see if he can maintain that gap or grow it. He's growing it slightly. He needs 2 more 100ths to leapfrog Greasy. And we'll see if he's going to be able to do it. We see Wid just improved his time, but only stayed 4th on the position. And Ikkinen here, 1 corner left to go. We'll see if he can nab second place. And he's coming up to the line. Is he able to do it? He improves, but not quite enough. And I think your timer is up. I think everybody is currently done. Obi-Wan's coming in here. He's going to finish up a lap. I'm not sure if he's improving. We shall see. He does improve. And Obi's in 6th place. Nos Fox on his final lap. He's currently sitting on a best of 57.1. We have not seen a sector time, so not sure how his lap is unfolding here. Now he's quite a bit slower on this lap. Tommy's in. Mr. Jones is done. Jesse, we caught Jesse at an unfortunate time there with a little spin. And Yak is done. So that's it for our qualifying. Qualifying is complete. We're just on the time runoff here. And as soon as the time is up, we'll go take a look at our results. And give our drivers a couple minutes to get ready. And we will hit the starting grid for the finale. 40-minute endurance race. And again, as mentioned earlier, all 4 compounds of tires are required. You can do your pit stops whenever you want. There is no pit window. All you need to do is drive each compound for at least 1 lap. And that can be the first lap or the last lap of the race. So unfortunately, we did have one team wasn't able to make it to the grid tonight in Lobby 1. That was our Monkey Mafia Esports. Last minute, we had somebody had to pull out, so that's unfortunate. But we do still have 13 teams on the track. That should make for some great racing. Our VPR Stack and Yak in that really sharp-looking red livery. All right, let's have a look. Take a couple snapshots here. All right, let's go through it. So in first place, let's just oh, it looks like we've got Vuk in the wrong car. Oh man. Oh man. Okay, we're back. Up and the lights are out. And we're just going to hang back here so we can watch and see if there are any incidents through the first sector. We do have red flag rules. Any incident involving 2 or more cars with damage in Sector 1. Oh, we've got a little bit of impact here. We've got no damage thus far. Okay, looks like everybody's going to make it through clean, hopefully. And we're off racing. All right. So, we got a clean start. We got Greasy, who is up into first place. Followed closely by Itkinen and Obi-Wan Kenobi in third place. We've got Wid in fourth place. And as you can see, these guys are pretty close together. Oh no, we've got, we just lost Tommy. Unfortunately, Tommy just had a little spin, which is going to move him down the order quite a bit. Yeah, right to the back, but he's back on there. Hopefully he can make that up. We'll go back to the front of the racetrack here. We got Greasy, who is starting to pull a little bit of a gap here. He's got 8 coming up on 9/10. Heading into one of the faster sections of the track here. He's going to want to try to create a little bit of a gap as quickly as possible. And we come around to end our first lap, and we've got Greasy going to lead the way. Just about a second lead coming through lap 1. And as you can see, the pit stops have already started. We've got Wid, Nosfox, Jesse, and Vuk all in on hards on lap 1 to try to get that tire requirement out of the way, and Yak as well. Once I head on back up to the leaders, we take a scroll through these guys. We got Greasy here again, holding that 9/10 lead, roughly over Ikkinen. We've got Ikkinen sitting in second place, 1.7 seconds up on Obi-Wan Kenobi. And both those drivers are currently on the medium tire, so 2 other compounds of tire are required for them. We got Obi-Wan, also on the medium. He's got about the same gap back to Mr. Clean behind him, who is on the hards. Looks like he started on the hards, but decided that he's going to at least do a couple laps on them, which I'm not really sure how the tire wear is on this track, so maybe that's going to be a good strategy for him, to be able to stretch the soft and the medium just a little bit longer, to keep them as fast as he can. You can see it's just not that fast of a tire. He's just bleeding tenths through this part of the track. That hard tire is just not doesn't have a whole lot of speed in it. Back behind Mr. Clean in 5th place, we got DS1126, about 1.5 seconds behind. Looks like he's trying to claw away at that right now. We got RWB Green, 3 seconds behind him. And right tucked in right behind him, we've got Mr. Jones. We've got an RWB and a GT Champion car here, side by side. These gentlemen are very familiar with each other. Nice clean racing, 2 good-looking liveries there. A good little healthy battle going here. And there's Mr. Clean going in for the pits. So Mr. Clean did 2 laps on those hards. This, I'm assuming he maybe couldn't get into the pits, or maybe he was just extending that stint a little bit. And we will jump back up to the front here, where we've got Greasy, who has expanded the lead by a couple tenths. He's now a second ahead of Ikkinen. Draft window in GT7 varies a little bit, but I think it's right around 1.1, 1.2 seconds is about the maximum that you can be behind a car before you start to lose any benefit. So Ikkinen is right on that bubble right now, as Greasy is setting a fast first sector. And we'll see that continue to drop for the first little while, certainly on these medium stint, as they start to burn off fuel, tires heat up. Got that stretched out to 1.4 seconds. And, as I say, we've got similar strategies thus far. Out of the top 2 or 3 drivers here, got Ikkinen on the mediums as well. Just trying to hang on to Greasy at this point in time. Just kind of spreading that gap a little bit. Obi-Wan Kenobi sitting in 3rd currently, Midwest Esports. He's 3 seconds down the road from Ikkinen. Just really trying to settle into that first stint on those medium tires, which will be the tire that they drive for the majority of this race. So just trying to get into a nice groove here and see if he can hang on to the front 2. DS1126 sitting in 4th place, 4.7 currently behind Obi-Wan Kenobi, and about the same back to Mr. Jones. Little loose coming out of the chicane there. Use all the curb that he can on the left on corner entry, and same on corner exit. Use as much of that curb as you possibly can. Get on that throttle. Down the long finish straight before you dip down the hill into the braking zone for a tricky little right-hander downhill. We got Mr. Jones here 5 seconds back, still closely followed by RWB Green. We've got Tommy Turismo, who had a little bit of a moment on lap 1. Seems to have recovered nicely. He's brought that gap down to RWB Green by under a second. So he's very much still in the fight here. We've got Wid here on the medium tire. I believe Wid was one of our pit stops after lap 1 from the hard tire. He's got a gap of 3 seconds back to Mr. Clean. Same strategy, although he went to the softs on his middle stint. So Mr. Clean is looking to hope to make some time up here on that soft tire. And we've got Vuk, who is on the medium. So Mr. Clean is on an opposite strategy to Wid and Vuk, despite pitting at the same time. They've got different compound tires on. Vuk had to serve a penalty to the back of the grid, unfortunately, for qualifying in the wrong M6. There are two M6 cars in GT7 that look the exact same. I believe generally they are almost the same car. There is maybe some slight differences. But to be fair to the rest of the drivers, Vuk was starting, even though qualified first, he was starting from the back of the grid. And we gave him the opportunity, obviously, to switch to the Endurance Edition, which is the official race car for this lobby. We've got Nosfox here sitting in 11th place, 2.5 seconds down the road from Vuk. He also made an early pit stop. He is very closely followed by Jesse Salas of Victory Pace Racing. Jesse is on the soft compound tire. He did the same early pit stop, but he opted for the softs. It'd be interesting to see how long these softs will last. This is a pretty big, heavy car, pretty demanding track on the tires, so I'm not really sure how long it's going to last. And then we've got Yak here, who is also on the softs after his first pit stop. And we'll jump back up to the start of the race here, where we've got catch back up with Greasy, who is holding and slightly growing that lead, just over 1.5 seconds, kind of bouncing around a little bit. But certainly putting in some consistent laps over the last number here. And as we mentioned before, just really trying to settle into this medium stint here, which is the longest stint that they will do on this tire. And we're currently 9 minutes into a 40-minute endurance race. And Ikkinen is growing the gap back to Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's up to 4.5 seconds now. Ikkenen's doing a good job to just kind of hang with Greasy there, running his own race, putting in good consistent laps. Obi-Wan still sitting in third place, lengthening the gap back to fourth. We've got DS 1126 racing for the Gearbangers Racing League. He has got a 5-second gap back to Mr. Jones, who's still pretty closely followed by RWB Green at 1.1 seconds. Actually, I believe these have flipped. I think it was the other way around last time. I think Green was in 5th and Jones was in 6th, so we've got a little bit of a change. Tommy Turismo is falling back a little bit from RWB Green here. That gap was 1 second roughly last time, so it looks like he's maybe had a little bit of a moment on the last lap, lost a little bit of time. And now we get back to our early pit stoppers. We've got Wid and Mr. Clean starting to catch up to those drivers at the back of the pack who have not pit yet. So we'll see what kind of time they can make as they start to have to make some overtakes on the track. Gap currently at 2.3 seconds. We see Mr. Clean again sitting right behind Wid at 1.4 seconds. He's on the soft tire, so expect that Mr. Clean is going to want to make some hay here while he can, while those soft tires are fresh, because we're not entirely sure how long they're going to stay effective for. Wid is starting to reel in Tommy Turismo here at 1.8 seconds. Just took about a half second off of him there. Mr. Clean close. Hoop 3.8 seconds behind. We've got Nosfox further 5 seconds behind him, followed by Jesse, who is 2.2 seconds back. And then we've got Yak at 9.5 seconds down the road. And we'll head back up to our leaders. So Gracie's stretched that lead out just past 2 seconds. Again, after that opening lap, very consistent on pace in the mid to high 156s. We'll see where lap 6 finishes off, right in mid 156s. So very consistent, just kind of growing that lead a tenth at a time. That's all he needs to do at this point in time. Aikkonen doing the same thing, very, very consistent in the 156's last 3 laps. So very much hanging in there, and we'll see if he can be opportunistic with any little mistake or slightly different strategy potentially on the tires to finish the race. You never know. Obi-Wan Kenobi at 6 seconds back down the road again as well, also hanging in there, running about a second per lap slower than our 2 leaders. As you see, that delta kind of keeps climbing. Same thing back to DS1126 in the 158, so another further second from Obi-Wan. Mr. Jones sitting in 5th, followed by RW Green in 6th. We've got Tommy Turismo in 7th. It looks like we've got a little battle on our hands here. We've got a pretty good pack of cars. Tommy's sitting on a half-second penalty, so that's going to cost him, unfortunately. It looks like Wood's going to make a move around the outside. Oh, he's going to tuck back in. Is he going to do it under braking? Appears like, Tommy goes to shut the door. All right, good clean racing there. Tommy shuts the door, coming down into that hard right-hander. Now they're going to go up through the S-turns, coming up the hill. And Wood is all over the back of Tommy Turismo right now. And Tommy will be a sitting duck here as he comes out of the right-hander onto the straightaway. He'll have to serve his penalty on that straightaway. And it looks like Wood's setting it up to get as much speed as possible, get a little bit of tow. He's already taken him around the outside. Tommy's getting off the racing line. Good driving etiquette there by Tommy. On GT7, it's widely known that if you're going to serve a penalty on these straightaways, you should get off the racing line. Car does ghost, but could on-ghost at any time. So right thing to do for Tommy. Loses a couple positions there, but he isn't really racing those 2 drivers on this stint. They are on different strats. But he'll want to tuck right in behind them if he can. We've got Mr. Clean here on the softs. So look, they're already about 50% burnt through. Certainly front left is starting to feel it. And we are just about 15 minutes into the race. So you got 25 minutes left. And he's going to need those, whenever the time's time, he's going to need the mediums to go all the way to the finish line. And we've got Wid here, trying to make a move on RWB Green, trying to do the switcheroo. It looks like he got a good drive, but Green is making it difficult for him. Not doing anything that he's not allowed to do, just defending nice and hard. Whoa, looks like a little bit of trading paint there. That gives Wid the inside line into the next corner. Green hangs on, tucks right in behind him. We'll see if he's going to try to do the same thing. He does not. Wood is able to seal that pass. And now Mr. Clean's going to want to get past Mr. Green, get past RW Green as quick as possible here to stay on the back of Wood. And then we've got Vuk, who is now in all this battling and overtaking, has been able to really bridge that gap and catch back up to the back of Mr. Clean. Again, starting from last place for a qualifying penalty for using the wrong car. He is very much in the hunt. He's right there, but they're going to want to get past these guys as quickly as possible. Because right now Greasy's putting in extremely consistent laps up front, as is Ikkinen. So they're going to want to clear this very quickly. It looks like Mr. Clean has been able to get by. RWB Green is tucked right in behind him. And Vuk is coming up here. He's going to try to make an overtake here very shortly, I would think. RWB Green doing a good job of defending. They are on different strategies, but that doesn't mean you want to give up track position. And it looks like Vuk's going to go down the inside. RWB Green is very generous. Let him take that apex of that corner, and Vuk is through. And we'll head back up to the front. We've got Greasy has now doubled that lead. He is now to a 4-second gap over Ikkinen. And as you look at the timing charts, just super consistent. Within a half a second to 0.6 of a second overall, 8 laps. Very impressive. As he is just growing that gap. He's about halfway through, burned through the mediums on the front tires. Because this car is big and heavy, those front tires do tend to wear a little quicker. We'll see as he crosses the line here. 4.2 seconds coming out of that last corner. And Ikkinen, same thing, just lost a little bit of time in the last 2 laps. Is now lapping in the low to mid 157s, which is about a second slower than Gracie. That's why we're seeing that delta continue to climb. Be interesting to see when these guys up front decide it's time to make a move and get off those mediums, because it does look like it's starting to affect time a little bit. Back in 6th place, we have Mr. Jones who's in the pits, so he's one of our first medium tire compound drivers to hit the pits. Obi-Wan still sitting in 3rd place. 12.5 seconds back from the leader, 8.3 to 2nd. One of our medium tire starters. We got 15 seconds back to DS1126 sitting in 4th place. And he is going to have company here very shortly from Wid, I suspect. His DS1126 last lap was a 59.8. Wid behind him was a 58.3. So I suspect it shouldn't take too long at 2.5 to 2 seconds a lap to bridge that gap from 2.3 right down to having his mirrors full. Mr. Clean here in the softs. As you can see, those softs are at the end of their life, and he's got Vuk all over him. Vuk is on the medium tire. He's got a lot more rubber left. I suspect that this will probably be the last lap for Mr. Clean before he has to pit. And we will essentially be at the halfway point, which is viable for those mediums, I believe, based on what we're seeing from our front runners. Started on the mediums and are still running those currently, so I think Mr. Clean is going to probably dive into the pits here if Vuk does not get him before the chicane. It looks like he's moving out to make a move. He's going to be able to be late on the brakes. He's got the fresher tire. Well, he doesn't give up the position. Mr. Clean says, I'm taking that corner. And he does not pit. And Vuk has the inside track here into the last corner. Mr. Clean tucks in behind him. And I think Mr. Clean lives to fight another day here on alternate strategies. Although he is very much still right in his toe. Interesting to see if he makes a move here down into corner 1. Doesn't appear like he's going to. Just going to tuck in behind Vuk and follow him around for the next lap and nurse these very depleted soft tires. Head back down through the list here. We've got Nosfox sitting in 8th place, 9.8 seconds down the road. 12.5 seconds back to Mr. Jones, who just recently made a pit stop from mediums to hards. RWB Green, same strategy. We've got Stack and Yak here, who has no tire left whatsoever. He is on the soft. I don't know how he's driving that, to be perfectly honest with you, but he's sitting in 11th place. We've got Tommy Turismo, who just switched onto the hard compound tire. And there's, just as we mentioned, Yak on the really beat-up soft tires. Unfortunately, we saw him spin out. And we've got Jesse coming around here on some fresh mediums. Hopefully Yak can get out of the way, and he does. And no damage. And back up to our leader. So we've got Greasy coming around here to the final corner to start lap 12. And his mediums are still in pretty good condition. Excuse me, he's got that lead out to 5 seconds now. But as you can see, the lap times are starting to come down a little bit. He's about a second and a bit slower than he has been, but still very consistent. Itkinen, same thing, just a couple tenths slower than Greasy on average on each per lap, but is staying quite consistent on these 11, 12 lap old tires. I can't imagine they will push these too much further, but we shall see. Obi-Wan Kenobi still sitting in third place, really maintaining that gap to Itkinen at this point in time. Again, nice consistent laps, naturally getting a little bit slower as these tires are wearing, but hanging in there. Wid has gotten past DS1126 sometime in the last lap or so he is back up into fourth place. He is on the mediums, and he's going to want to run these most likely for the next, probably wouldn't want to run the softs much more than 10 minutes at the end of the race. So we shall see what he does there. 1126 here on the mediums, getting pretty burnt through. He's 2.5 seconds down the road, and we've got Vuk right in his mirrors now. And Vuk is going to want to get this pass done nice and early. Taking a peek down the inside. Is he going to take a lunge? He is. 1126, very fair, leaving the inside of that corner. But gets a nice good run out of the corner. But Vuk has enough fresh tire to make that stick. Nos Fox back here in 7th place. Kind of driving on his own. He's got 13 seconds in either direction. Mr. Jones, 1.7 ahead of Mr. Clean. Mr. Clean looks like he has done his last pit stop. He is now on fresh mediums for the final 16, 17 minutes of this race. So he's going to want to really push here. I believe Mr. Clean started in 4th place. So I know his goal will certainly be to get back up into that top 5 at the very least. And we'll start seeing these positions sort of, settle out as the rest of the pit stops start to happen. We've got Tommy back here in 10th place, Jesse sitting in 11th, RDBB Green in 12th, Stack and Yak in 13th, who has changed those tires finally, and Gracie still here up at the front of the race. He is now on lap 13, and he's still growing that lead, 5.4 seconds. Again, the times are super consistent, doing a great job here out front, putting in lap after lap. And we are now coming up on 15 minutes remaining in this 40-minute endurance race. And again, for those of you just tuning in, the tire requirement is that they run all 3 racing compounds, so the soft, medium, and hard. They must run those for at least 1 lap in the race. That can be the first lap, it can be the last lap, as long as GT7's tire requirement is met. And he is still growing that lead, a tenth at a time. Back to Itkinen here in 2nd place. We'll jump back up with Greasy. We'll see if this is going to be the pit stop lap. And it appears like it is. Greasy's diving in. So at the end of lap 13, Greasy's jumping in the pits. He's going to get off the mediums. We'll see if he decides to put the hards on first or the softs. Itkinen has opted to stay out. So he will take the lead on the racetrack as he continues on to start lap 14. Obi-Wan Kenobi, who was in 3rd, has also dove into the pits. But Greasy here, he is putting on the soft tire. So he's going to have to put those hards on for the last lap of the race, most likely. We've got Wid coming around the final corner. He is currently in 4th place and has just leapfrogged Obi-Wan Kenobi, who is in the pits. Obi-Wan is going to come out in between Wid and Vuk. And this is going to be challenging for Vuk, as Obi-Wan is going to have to... Oh no, and we've got an incident. Just tapped the back end of Obi-Wan. Looked like there was a little bit of impact on the back. Vuk did not return the position, so obviously doesn't feel like he was at fault there, unless he's going to do it here later down the straightaway. It doesn't appear like that is the case. So luckily Obi-Wan did not spin out, and we shall see. if there's a ticket submitted on that one. Back up to the front, we've got Ikonen coming into the last sector of lap 14. As you can see, starting to really bleed some time here now, so I think he will want to get these boots off as quickly as possible. He's got a 12-second lead back to Greasy. And I think pit stop is roughly about 14-15 seconds, so we'll see where he comes out. He is dove into the pits. Greasy here is going to, as he passes the start-finish line, going to take first place back. And it'll be interesting to see what tire Ikonen decides to come out with, whether he does the hards or the softs. And I believe the gap was, roughly 5.5, 6 seconds when Greasy pit. So we'll see if the undercut has been powerful. It looks like it has. Looks like he's picked up another couple seconds. We'll go back to Ikonen. He is on the soft as well, but he has maintained second place. We've got Wid into the pit for the last time, and I believe we'll be seeing the soft compound tire from Wid. Vuk is also in the pits. Obi-Wan is also in the pits. Mr. Clean coming into the final corner. He's on the racing mediums. I believe, yeah, he has already done his 2 pit stops. So this is the tire till the end for Mr. Clean. He does not leapfrog anybody coming out of the pits. Everybody in front of him is done. We've got Nosfox here in 7th place, now on the soft compound tire. Got 11 minutes to go. In 8th place, we've got Jesse Salas, 14 seconds down the road from Nosfox. 1.1 seconds ahead of Mr. Jones. Not sure about Jesse's strategy, if he's got another set of tires he needs to put on or not at this point in time. Mr. Jones, I believe, has made all of his pit stops. He now has some fresh softs on, so he'll be hunting down Jesse for sure. Second behind him, we got DS1126, also on 1 lap old softs. Tommy Turismo, 8 seconds down the road in 11th. 14.9 seconds down the road, we've got Yak, and we've got RW Green, who's making what we assume to be his final pit stop to put the softs on. We've got Greasy here, 10 seconds in the lead, and he just put in the fastest lap of the race at a 154.9, and he is moving. He's got 10-second gap on Ikonen. Anakin's got a 27-second gap back to Wid. Now, both our drivers in first and second place do have to make one more pit, and they do have to put on the hard compound tire. Our assumption will be that that's going to be at the start of their last lap. They're going to want to come in and put the hards on so they can just do the final lap on those tires, but that remains to be seen. We've got Wid here in 3rd place. He's got a 5.4 second lead back to Vuk, and he's got Obi-Wan half second behind him, all over him. So these 2 drivers have a little incident in turn 1 there a couple laps ago. It looks like they're staying pretty close together here at just about 7/10. Obi-Wan's got a nice clean gap back to Mr. Clean, who is sitting in 6th place. 5 seconds back to Nosfox. 17 seconds back to Mr. Jones. DS1126 is right there at a second. Tommy's about 8 seconds behind him in 10th place. Yak sitting 17 seconds back. And Jesse sitting in 12th. And RWB Green has got a fresh set of softs here in 13th place. Greasy comes through again, setting another fastest lap of 54.5. He's growing that gap a little bit again. We'll go back and see what Ikonen's times are. 55.2, about 7/10 difference between the two drivers there. Greasy really doing a great job here out front, just building the gap, staying out of trouble. He is coming up on some lap traffic here, so we'll see if he has any challenge getting through the blue flag traffic, as he should most likely catch up to them right around the end of this lap. And that gap back to second place, 10.6 seconds. Top two drivers still have one more pit stop to make. Put the hard compound tire on. The other drivers in third through seventh at least have all made their required pit stops, so they're racing till the end. Really starting to catch up to that lap traffic. We'll go back and take a look through our other racers. We got 30 seconds almost back to Wid here in third place. I don't think that's going to be enough to leapfrog either of the top two drivers, but we shall see. We've got Vuk here in fourth. We've got Obi-Wan in fifth. Mr. Cleanback here in sixth. Nosfok in seventh. Mr. Jones in eighth. Still got DS1126 for company behind him, and Tommy round out our top 10. So Greasy has now caught the lap traffic. He lost a little bit of time to Ikkinen on that last lap. Must have had maybe a little bit moment in the last sector there, as he hasn't caught up to these guys yet, so it wouldn't have been them slowing him down. We've got just coming up on 6 minutes left in this race, so most likely 4 laps to go. Good job by Jesse clearing the way for our leader there under blue flag conditions. That's how we do it, folks. Get off the racing line. Don't sacrifice all of your pace, but get off the racing line. Make it nice and easy for the leaders to get through. Don't want you to compromise your race, but we certainly don't want it to affect our leaders. Greasy's got another car up here in front of us, which is green, I believe. We'll jump back to Ikkinen. It was 10 seconds back from our leader. Put in a real good lap, 154.8 on that last lap around. Ikkinen find a little bit of pace in these softs here in the finishing stages. Doing a great job to solidify most likely what will be the second place finisher. Again, not super sure what the pit delta is going to be, but I do not believe it's 30 seconds. I think it's close to 15 seconds roughly to switch tires. So I don't think we'll see a change there in the top two. Wid here on the softs, he's got a lead of about 4 seconds back to Vuk in fourth place, putting in a couple 155 laps. We see Vuk dipped into the 154s in the last lap as well, so he'll be chasing Wid hard to the end here. As they might have 3 laps remaining once they finish this one. We shall see. Obi-Wan hanging tight here in fifth place, losing a little bit of time to Vuk, but still doing a good job. He should be in great shape to solidify that top 5 in this race. And we've got Greasy, who continues to chase down RWB green lap traffic here. I suspect we'll see him try to get through here in the next couple of corners. We'll see if RWB green makes it easy on him. Appears like he does. Great job. Another great example of how lap traffic should react. And coming up on Yak here again. And this is really the last of these drivers he should have to worry about before he gets to the finish line. We'll take a look back at Ikkinen here in second place. Ikkinen's going to have to deal with this lap traffic most likely again as well. But based on how Greasy was able to get through there, I don't think it's going to be any issue. They're being very gentlemanly and moving out of the way. So we've got about 3 minutes on the clock which means most likely these drivers will have 2 more laps as they cross the finish line. Pretty darn close to it anyway. See Wid taking a little bit of time out of Ikonen on that last lap. He's got that down to 28 seconds, but again, don't think that's going to be enough to leapfrog to top 2. But he's certainly going to want to solidify that 3rd place step, as Vuk is only 3.5 seconds behind him and pushing hard. Vuk is spreading that gap back to 5th place. Obi-Wan is 4.2 seconds behind. We got Mr. Clean here in 6th place. Nosfox in 7th place. Mr. Jones in 8th. 1126 in 9th. Tommy Turismo in 10th. VPR Stackenyak in 11th. RWB Green in 12th. And Jesse Salas in 13th. So here we are back with our leader again. This should be his penultimate lap, I believe, based on looking at the timing screen. So we will most likely, I mean, we can see that delta has dropped. May have had a little bit of difficulty with some of that lap traffic, but we'll see here. Oh boy, gets a little loose out of that corner. Wow. Greasy's going to want to be very patient here in this last lap of what will be on these softs. I assume he'll have to pit. He'll be coming in at the end of this lap to throw the hards on for his final racing lap. Ikonen will need to do the same as he's gotten through one of those lap traffic drivers. Just want to make sure we don't have any real close racing going on here, but we'll stay with our leader. We'll see as he comes into this back straight. And when he comes out of the chicane here, we'll most likely see him dip into the pits, as he's only got a minute left on the clock, so he's going to have to make that pit stop, start his last lap on the hards. And then we'll see the exact same thing out of Ikonen, who's 8 seconds back. And there he is. Our leader's in the pits to throw on the hards for the last lap. We've got Ikonen coming over that chicane. He's going to be doing the exact same thing. So our top 2 drivers are into the pits. And we've got Wid in 3rd place. As you can see, Wid is just entering that back straight now. Most likely is not going to be able to overtake, as Greasy is in pit crew. He's throwing the tires on there now, and he is back out. Doesn't need to take gas, and he's got plenty of time. And we've got Ikonen, same thing. Fresh tires are on. Plenty of time, as Wid is just coming out of the final corner, and that's just too big of a gap for a final lap. Just to make sure we've got nothing real tight going on here. We do not, so we will stay with our leader for the final lap of this race. The timer is past 40 minutes, so we will start to see some drivers take the checkered flag here. But we've got Mr. Clean is taking the checker flag in 6th. And Nosfox, I believe, is right behind him. We've got Greasy here who's left. He is led from lap 1. Just put in a really solid medium stint. Just kept growing that lead, threw on the softs, and then just came out of the pits here for 1 lap on the hard tires to finish it off. Finishing with, he's got an 8.99 second lead. Just a couple of more corners to go. Left and then a right. Hit the back straight. Enter into sector 3, and then all he's got left is a chicane, and then the final hairpin. And here he is. We got Greasy. This is going to be very interesting, as Greasy YouTube Racing was in 3rd place coming into this. So he's going to take 1st place. Looks like he's going to take fastest lap as well, which is a point. So this could change the standings depending on what happens in lobbies 2 and 3. So congratulations to Greasy on a great win in the final lap. We got Ikonen here coming out of the last corner, 8.5 seconds behind. Real solid race, finishing 2nd place. We've got Wid coming across the finish line in third, 6.5 seconds down the road. We've got Vuk coming across in fourth place, and we've got Obi-Wan Kenobi going to come across the finish line here in fifth. And then we've got Mr. Clean in sixth, Nosfok in seventh, Mr. Jones in eighth, DS1126 in ninth, and we'll go take a look at our results. Well, first of all, I want to thank all the participants in the league in this three series race, Oktoberfest of Speed. It's been great, awesome turnout, real fair, clean racing, lots of very fast drivers. So really an exciting event, and we're looking forward to build off this in our next one. Please keep your eye out on VPRL socials. We will be announcing Series 6 later this evening. It's going to be a fun one. Keep your eyes peeled on that. If you've raced in VPRL before, you know how it works. If you haven't, please come join the Discord. Ask a friend who's done it. Got to try to keep it short and sweet. 3-race series, not a huge commitment. Monday evenings. Lots of fun. Fill as many lobbies as we can. There's always a little prize beyond bragging rights for the winner. So again, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you for those who competed in the series. It's been great, and look forward to seeing you back again soon. Cheers.